Welcome to the CEO of Destiny podcast, where you will find the tools to fulfill the purpose of your generation and wildly succeed in the marketplace. And now your host, Andre J. Benjamin.
Greetings. Welcome to the CEO of Destiny show. My name is Andre J. Benjamin, your host, and I'm excited today to have our great guest who is going to open up Mr. Rob Kenney about his whole journey. He has a channel that has taken off. He has a new book out that is really, I feel, very timely in a time when people are somewhat lacking encouragement and direction. And we had a heck of a 2020. I think the globe is still trying to figure out who we are as a planet. So it was kind of good to have some sensibility in the midst of that. And I want to welcome you onto our show. And first thing I want to do before I, formally welcome you, as I'm welcoming you, is I want to give honor where honor is due, because I really think that you have put together a resource that is very valuable and timely, because a lot of people were feeling very despondent. I work with a lot of business owners and a lot of young adults, and I see their uncertainty about the future. So when people have some calm and some clarity, it is very encouraging for someone to take their time and to put almost like a labor of love out to say, hey, you know what? I may not know everything, but whatever I do know, I'm trying to give it away. So thank you for doing that. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I think you got the gist of it. I'm not pretending to be anything more than I am. I'm not an expert in anything, not a jack of all trades, master of none. But I've learned some things over the year raising two adult kids. And so I just wanted to be able to pass along some of the things that I've learned.
Nice. What would you say is your origin story or your background? Can you tell those who are viewing and listening to this show, what is your background?
Yeah, so I'm, as far as my profession, I'm actually in sales. I've been doing that for almost 30 years at the same company. Well, I shouldn't say the same company, because I was with one company for 17 years. They sold, and then I've been with them, and I was with them for 12 years, and then they sold. So, I haven't moved. My company's moved, but I think that's important to not necessarily hop around. I think that was always something that I tried to do, to not always think that the grass is greener. So that's my profession. My background, I think part of the reason my story was hitting home with people was my dad left when I was 14. And so I went to live with my brother, who was 9 years older than me at the time. He was 23 and he was newly married. And so, a lot of this stuff that I'm teaching is stuff that pretty basic, but stuff that if you don't have somebody to show you, you kind of just flounder for a while until you figure it out. And so I thought I'd try to give people a leg up and encourage people to help kind of stand on my shoulders or stand on other people's shoulders. I hate to act like I'm the hero in it. I want people to be the hero in the story so that they can be encouraged to make the best of their lives.
It's a very enriching tool belt. It's the way you give it away. I want to ask you a question around just if you have assessed something about yourself. What would you personally say you would believe that your gift is? What would you believe that you're gifted at, Rob?
It's funny that you say that. As far as a gift, I guess we can look at it as is it a gift, or is it, I've always tried to keep things as simple as I possibly can, so that I can get my own head around it. And there's times where I can't break things down so simple, and so I get frustrated because I'm like, I just can't get my head around it. So I think that I think God has given me a gift of trying to simplify things that maybe seem intimidating to people, but it's basically because that's how I have to get my own head around it before I can then explain it to others.
Seems very in the realm of compassion. It's just interesting because taking the ability to show people and to have patience. I'm a parent. We have 3 children, 11, 8, and 4, and nice. The learning curve is very steep. Because the world's ever changing, and so are they. So they all bring their distinct personalities. But with that being said, there's a temperament to work with people and to really, give people jewels for life. Can you tell me what inspired the journey and the whole origin of Dad, How Do I?
Yeah, I think it was, I hate to use the term perfect storm, just because this is something I thought of a few years ago. And then with the pandemic, my daughter has been a big part of this too. So I have to give credit where credit's due. She's been on me to, Dad, you need to do this, you need to do it. And I'm like, I get busy like everybody else and put things off. And I'm like, you just don't have the time. But I ran out of excuses because of the pandemic, because we were all quarantines, so I was at home and I had time on my hands. So I was like, okay, what's it going to cost me to do a Thai video, a couple minutes, and then just figure out how to upload it to YouTube. And then I did how to shave. And I didn't think, I thought I was going to help 30 or 40 people. I just wanted to kind of come up with an idea that where you could come to learn all things dad, so to speak. Yeah. And so I had no idea that this was going to resonate on the level that it has. But I think it was the pandemic, like you said, a sense of calm, of I've lived a while. I'm 57, and seen ups and downs. The pandemic was pretty unique in how it all hit us, and so it's unique to me as well. But I have been through some highs and lows in my life and tried to temper them with understanding that things are temporary. You can have a great high in your life, and then next thing now you got going through a low, and if you just wait a little while, then it's a high again. And so I've tried to remain calm through all that, although it isn't easy. Like you're going through that as a parent yourself. You can have a bad day at work and come home and be frustrated or sit in traffic or what have you, and your kids, then you're trying to provide, doing the best you can, and then your kids don't understand what all they can't possibly grasp all that you're juggling to try to then remain calm when you go out to try to fix something. So I'm like anybody else. I've lost my patience at times, but I have, we did always try to include our kids in stuff. It's easier to go build a fence by myself. I can go out there and figure it out. I don't have to explain it to them, but I wanted to try to include our kids whenever I could, because, that's empowering. Plus that bonding time is valuable.
Definitely. What did you see that, or what do you think your daughter saw in you, and what do you think she also saw that was lacking? That basically what gap did she see that she was like, man, I want my dad to take a shot at this, especially when you talk about the scalability of technology and using it to hit the globe. So it's, like you said, hey, now this time is freed up because I have no excuse. And, it's not like you had to go over to a radio station or a TV station, and, you had the ability because of technology to really have a wide impact. So what do you think she saw in you? And what do you think she thought was missing as a gap?
Well, so I still remember her actually saying, I'm watching celebrities. Who was it? I can't remember who the celebrity was, but put together a bike. She said, I just got done after like a half hour watching this celebrity put together a bike. She said, I really think people would want to hear from just a normal dad. And you know how to do a lot of things, Dad. So what do you think? And so, so she encouraged me to do it. I always said that she's kind of got a spidey sense of what the world needs. She really, I think, speaking of gifts, I think she's been gifted that way. When she was growing up, she used to, seek out the kids at recess that had no friends. She was she was into sports and stuff, so she could have hung out with the jocks, so to speak, and she didn't. She would bring home friends, and I was like, this one's anyway, this one's a little different, Christine. But she was just, had compassion on people, really. And she's a BCBA now, where she works with kids that, have learning disabilities. She's a board certified behavior analyst. That's what a BCBA is. Yeah. So I'm very thankful for her, because she has been a big part of encouraging me to do this and helping me to navigate, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to help a handful of people. You can even tell on my shaving video in the background, you can see my prescription bottle. And my daughter said, Dad, you might want to get that out there. I said, who's going to see this? 30 or 40 people, I can live with that. And so now that one's one of my more viewed videos.
It's such a basic life skill, but it's so needed, and people are curious. It's just amazing the things that people will watch now, and it's actually inspiring in regards to things that are helpful. So whom were you targeting, and why was this important to you to kind of step out of your comfort zone? Because I mean, obviously you said you have a background in sales, and I know I've read your book, so I know about your background. But for our viewers and listeners, what was it that made this important to you, and whom were you targeting, and kind of what was your goal and ultimate hope or dream for this project?
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Do us a favor. If this was useful in any way for you, please go to iTunes and leave us a review. Reviews will allow others to easily discover the podcast. If you'd like more information and to receive a free download, Rediscover Your Destiny, go to ceofdestiny.com. Thanks again, and tune in next time.